against the dying of the light. Right for your light. So this song, Raise Your Hands, really was the inspiration behind this whole series. Raise Your Hands particularly speaks to the shooting of Michael Brown, who was a young 18-year-old black man in Ferguson, Missouri. He was unarmed and shot by a white police officer, and though the details of the shooting continue to be in dispute, it certainly raised very rigorous debate about the relationship between African American citizens and law enforcement in the United States. And all you have to do is Google stats on deaths of young black men at the hands of police officers, and it's 9 times more likely that a man will be killed by police officers, and the tally is 1,100, upwards of 1,100 young American men have been killed by police officers, and so all of that, and particularly the details of the story, the treatment of Michael Brown, the treatment of his body once the shooting happened, and the discourse and the dialogue that was happening afterwards, was just so heartbreaking, and obviously brought to light and sort of pulled into the sunlight so much tension that exists not only in the States but in Canada as well, as to how we what that relationship between law enforcement and minorities is. And so I started writing this song, and at the time I was also thinking of the Dylan Thomas poem, Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night, and there's a line close to the beginning of the poem that is rage, rage against the dying of the light. And I thought that the way that spoke to me a little bit of the way that media presented the civil unrest and the riots that were taking place in Ferguson at the time. This was a community in pain. This was a community that was trying to deal with a tragedy and continued tragedies, and yet they were being depicted as that they somehow were unjust in their expression of this sadness and this frustration, and that their young men were being killed. And so I wrote this song thinking about all those things, thinking about the double standard that exists still because of the different colors of our skin, and how, again, my luxury and my privilege of walking through the world as a white woman, how there's so much unpacking of that I have to do. So this is just for me, this song, Raise Your Hands, is an expression of me struggling with that privilege, struggling with unpacking it, and again, also still attempting to understand so many stories and histories and contexts that go into into this.